Yeah, can I hit it in the morning without giving? Hop on my dog, even was if I was broke. What you want, man? If I can get your finest thing like a little diamond ring, which is skillful. Would you still roll if you couldn't see the sun rising up the shore of Thailand? Would you ride then? If I wasn't driving, if I wasn't eight-figure name of Jigga, would you be around me or would you clown me? If I couldn't fall, put your wrist with Joe, put your lips slip with wood and a kiss with Joe. See yourself when I'm working harder than 95. 10 to 6, 2 jobs to survive, or do you need a baller so you can shop and tear the mall? Brag, tell your fans what I brought ya. If you couldn't see yourself with the Hello, how you guys doing? Again, this is your recall therapist JC. I'm your host and the owner of this channel. I would like to thank everybody that's watching this video right now. On this segment of our channel, for this video content that I'm posting to my channel, I'm showing you on how to clean your AR15, and this is the fundamental ways of cleaning it. This is cleaning AR15 my way. The best reference for you out there to actually properly maintain or clean your firearm will be your firearm manual that you get whenever you buy your rifle or your gun or your firearm. Make sure to check on that first, but there will be the best reference out there for your particular firearm, because they're the one that built that firearm, so they know the best practices and ways to maintain your firearm, to clean and maintain it. Okay. All right. Quick trivia. I just want to let you know that AR doesn't stand for assault rifle. Okay. AR actually stands for Armalite. Armalite is the maker of the AR15. So no, don't listen to those people that's saying that AR stands for assault rifle. So it's not assault rifle, it's Armalite. Let me make that clear. It's Armalite and not assault rifle. Yeah, okay. All right, guys. Before we start this video, I would like to make some quick shout out first. First of all, I would like to say shout out to my buddy back in the Philippines and also a subscriber. His name is Mr. Ray Allen Ibasan. And also, I would like to say a shout out to my co-worker, my subscriber also here back home, to Mr. Marvin Atalig. And I would like to say a shout out also to one of our co-worker and also subscriber, to Mr. Jose Ramos. Again, shout out to you, Ray Allen Ibasan, Marvin Atalig, and Jose Ramos. So if you guys want to be featured in my video, want to be, get your name shout out, just comment down below your name. And on the next video, I will make sure that I get you shout out. Alright guys, before we start this video content, before I show you how to clean your AR15, make sure first that we follow the gun safety rules. It's out there in purpose. Please follow it. Okay, doesn't matter if someone's watching you, you're by yourself, it doesn't matter, you have to do it. Every gun owner needs to learn this and needs to practice these safety rules, okay? There's a lot of layers in the safety rules. There's a safety in gun range, just being around the firearm itself, field stripping it, etc. There's layers in it. But I'm just showing to you on the safety rules that I do, or safety rules they set for before you clean your rifle or in general. Okay. All right. First of all, always handle the firearm as it was loaded. As if it is loaded. Always treat it like it was loaded. It doesn't matter if they just hand it to you, you visually just saw them empty it out. Once you got your firearm in your hand, you have to treat it like it was actually loaded. Make sure first that the magazine and any ammunition are all in a separate room with you when you're cleaning your rifle or your pistol or any firearm. Make sure they're not in the same room. Okay, that's one of the best way and best practice to make sure that you don't make any accident. Okay, and also make sure that you see there's no magazine inserted to the rifle itself. Make sure that your chamber is empty. So make sure that the bolt lock it. So you're using this one to lock it, this thing right here. So once you pull your charging handle, just push this and it will lock the bolt on its place. Okay, so now that the bolt is locked right there, now you can see the chamber over there. You can actually see and physically check the chamber. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm physically touching it, make sure that there's no cartridge or there's no round inside the chamber, and also visually inspect it. I don't know if you can see, this is the chamber right there. You can visually inspect it, make sure that there is no round or any cartridge inside that chamber. That's the main thing. And always make sure that the muzzle of your weapon pointing on a safe direction. Of course, you don't want to accidentally shoot your neighbor Miss Karen upstairs, and also you don't want to shoot your neighbor Miss Marites on the other side. So as a safety measure, point your muzzle on a safe direction. Okay, point it down or any direction that you know. So make sure what's beyond the wall. What's the damage you can make, or who could you hurt, potentially hurt. So make sure that get your muzzle pointed in a safe direction. Okay, and also your booger hooker, make sure that it's not not on inside the trigger guard right here. Always put your booger hooker outside the trigger. Okay, never only put your trigger finger inside if you are ready to shoot. So anytime that you're not gonna shoot, get that booger hooker out of the trigger guard, away from the trigger itself. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and run fundamentals and a basic principle of gun handling or firearm handling. First, you always have to treat the firearm as it was loaded. Okay, it doesn't matter you just saw them emptying it out. That's your responsibility. Every time you touch the firearm, you have to treat it like it's actually loaded. Okay, so any firearm at all, treat it as it was loaded. Okay. Second of all, make sure that whenever you do your cleaning, that there's no magazine or ammunition together in the same room where you are cleaning. So put it in a separate room. Okay. Make sure that your rifle or your firearm is empty, no magazine inserted in there, and you check the chamber. Make sure that you can visually and physically check it to make sure that there's no round inside the chamber. Okay. Lock your bolt. Open it. Lock your bolt. Once it's locked, you can visually inspect it, and you can physically inspect it right here to make sure there's no round inside that chamber. Okay. And always keep in mind, part of the safety rules is pointing your muzzle on the right direction. Make sure wherever your muzzle is pointing at, that you know what's beyond that wall or whatever object is in between you and a potential accident or potential person that you could hurt beyond that that wall that you don't see. To make sure that you don't accidentally shoot Miss Karen or Miss Marites, your neighbor. Okay. And last but not the least, make sure booger hooker is off the trigger. Okay, you only put your booger hooker on the trigger if you are ready to shoot. So anytime you're not ready to shoot, get your booger hooker out of the trigger. Okay. Okay, before we start the cleaning video, I'm gonna show you the three major components of the AR-15. First, we have the ball carrier, which is this one. Then we have the upper receiver, which is mine is the forged upper receiver, right? A complete forged upper receiver. And also the lower receiver, which in my case, I have a complete forged lower receiver right here. All right, so those are the three main components of the AR-15. All right, guys, before we start, I'm going to show you the cleaning supplies I got ready here for us to use for cleaning the AR-15. Make sure you have the towels for wiping down and stuff. Make sure you have this. This is actually good for like kind of like picking on like if there's any build up gunk that you can't get through. Actually pick it with this one, okay, right here. So that's really good in picking the dirt. I got some nylon brush right here. I got a bronze brush right here. It's kind of like it's old, but I gotta get a new one. And this is the iron rod right here, where you can attach certain components over here. And this one is the one that hold the small cotton flannel, where you can insert in your barrel. Inside the barrel, you can clean it with it. You can oil it with it also. But this particular rod right here is for my pistol. I'm just showing to you that this is what the metal rod looks like, okay? And the cleaning rod looks like. But for this particular cleaning, you need to have a long um, cleaning rod, which right now I don't have one. I still have to buy one. So what I use now, what I temporarily use, is a bore snake. And a bore snake, you can do it both ways. You can use quick cleaning and deep cleaning. Okay. And before we can go on, I'm gonna make sure first that you guys that any brush that goes inside your barrel, make sure that the size is chambered the same as your rifle. Do not, do not mix them up, because there are different sizes. Then using the wrong size could potentially damage your barrel, and could lose to lose accuracy. Okay, this is the solution that I use. A lot of people use different ones, but for me, this is what I use for both my handgun and my rifle. I've been using this for since I started become a gun owner. This is what I use, and never failed me. Always worked, odorless, and like I said, it's doing good to me. So what would change something? It's been good. And also, this is 3-in-1 already, and this is the gun oil that I use. And this one is pretty good too. There's so many oils and cleaning supplies out there in the market. It's up to you. It's sky's the limit. It's up to you what you want to choose or what work best for you. But me, I particularly use Lucas oil, and these are the cleaning supplies that we're gonna use for cleaning the AR15. There's so many cleaning supplies out there, but this one right here, it's been what I've been using for the longest time, and it never failed me, and it does the job. Alright, now we're gonna field strip your AR15, preparedness for your for cleaning the rifle, okay? And as you can see, you're probably wondering, why is the muzzle not facing the same direction? Yes, it is, because on that, this is pretty safe for me to point that muzzle toward that direction, okay? Alright, now to field strip this, I'm gonna use the metal rod. You're gonna have to push the takedown pin. So go ahead and locate your takedown pin. So on this particular one, on this rifle, I don't know if you can see it, but the takedown pin will be right here, one right here, and there's two in here. So one right here and one over here, right there. So what you do is you just push the takedown pin, you push it. Okay, now it's pushed in all the way in, and same thing over here, you push it like real tight. There you go. And once it's already in, spread them. Okay, as you can see. Alright. You can see. Alright. See? So that's what's holding this is that pin right there. The takedown pin. So go ahead and once you push those takedown pins, so once you already push them out, you can go ahead and separate your lower receiver and your upper receiver, okay? So go ahead and put your upper receiver somewhere somewhere safe. On your lower receiver, just a quick trivia, this is what's considered as a firearm, okay, by the ATF and NRA. So whenever you build your own AR, when you buy your lower receiver, you're gonna have to go through the background check and all the security check. Just this is what they consider as the firearm itself, okay? Not the upper receiver, not the bolt carrier, but this one, the lower receiver, okay? So in here, what we're gonna clean, actually we're gonna clean the inside part of the lower receiver, and but be sure to get the bumper spring out of the bumper tube, okay? So this is your buttstock, this is your bumper tube right here. So there's a spring inside that. That's a really important component of the lower receiver, okay? So also when you take this out, the reason why you need to oil it down is because it's rubbing towards the buffer tube. So two metal things, when they rub, they tend to with that friction, they tend to wear out. Make sure that any moving parts that's rubbing together, and any moving parts that causing friction will potentially cause the wear and tear of your firearm, okay? So let's go ahead and take this down. And there's a little knob right there, or like a little stopper in there. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna have to push that down for you to able to get the bumper spring out of the bumper tube, okay? Alright, so I push it down. Now you see, that's what's holding the bumper spring, so it won't shoot out whenever you open your firearm. That's what's holding it, okay? So now that I got it down, see, this is what you call, this is the bumper spring right here. It's a bumper spring. So but me, I still clean it, you know, even though you don't really have to clean it, you just have to lube it. But I clean it anyway because, you know, who knows what's getting to your bumper tube, right? So go ahead and clean this, or you know, go ahead and clean this also. All right. So now while we are this, go ahead and spray your lower receiver with your clean solution. Okay. All right. So after you spray them like thoroughly, go ahead and let it sit for a few minutes and go field strip the other ones, and you know what I'm saying. So it will kind of like soften out all the dirt and like the carbon in your firearm, you know. So it'll be more easy to clean. So go ahead and put this aside. Put your bumper spring aside also. Go ahead and spray it. All right. After you spray it, you know, kind of soak it with the solution. Okay. Now let's go ahead and take care of your upper receiver. Okay. So this is your upper receiver. Again, muzzle pointing the same direction. Okay. Go ahead and separate your bolt carrier. Separate to your upper receiver. Doing that, just pull this out. There you go. Now the bolt carrier group and your charging handle is gonna come out at the same time, or I mean, fully out at the same time. But it will come. This one, what do you call this? The bolt carrier group will have to, you know, be taken out first. All right, here you go. There's a bolt carrier group right here, and now you can take out your charging handle. Okay, now for your upper receiver, at this point, nothing else will come out in this one. Okay, some other rifle, I think you know you can like take the free floating handrail right here, but on my particular AR, this is forged and it's complete upper receiver. Okay, so there's really no component here that needs to be taken out. Okay, so what I do while we soaking up the lower receiver with the solution, we're gonna go ahead and soak this one up too. Okay, so spray it where your bolt carrier slice reciprocate, you know, the one that going back and forth right here. Okay, go ahead and spray that with the solution, and spray your chamber also. So what I do is I go ahead and let it soak up also, just like what I did with the lower receiver. Okay, now let's go ahead and field strip the bolt carrier to its smaller components that needs to be cleaned and lube also. So first of all, you have to take your firing pin out. This is your firing pin. If you can see right there, it's the gray one right here, right there. That's your firing pin. Okay. So the way for you to take that out, you're gonna do is take this. You're gonna have to take the firing pin, the retaining pin for your firing pin. Okay. There's a little hole right there. Now you can, you know, go ahead and kind of like poke it out, or not poke it out, but you're gonna fish it out a little bit. There you go. Once you got it, pull that pin out. There you go. The ones hold the firing pin in the bolt carrier. Now, all you gotta do is just kind of like tip it like this, and you'll see the firing pin fall. Okay, there you go. There's the firing pin right there. Okay, now that you got that separated, you want to go ahead and disassemble your bolt assembly. This is your bolt assembly right here. Separate it from your bolt carrier. Okay, by doing that, you're gonna have to push your bolt assembly in, and this is what's called the cam pin right here, that little thing right there. So you're gonna have to do that. Twist. I mean, kind of like spin it where, you know, it will be parallel from you, or else it's not gonna pull out. Okay. So once you get that parallel from you can go ahead and pull that cam pin out. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right, I got it out. See that right there? Pulling up. There you go. That's the cam pin holding the bolt assembly and the bolt carrier. Now pull your bolt assembly out. Now it's separate. Okay, this is your bolt carrier, and this is your bolt assembly. Okay. Now there's one more little component here in the bolt assembly that you need to separate. Okay. I don't know the name of this one, so if you guys know what's the name, can you please comment it down below. Share with me, because I actually don't remember. I mean, I've heard it before. I know it. I just don't remember the name, the what it's called, or the name for it. Okay. So, but anyway, so go ahead and take that out. There's a retaining pin right there too. Same thing as, you know, taking out the firing pin. So there's a retaining pin there. You push that. The pin is gonna be like really small. the retaining pin, so make sure that you don't lose it. Okay, here's the retaining pin, because I'm gonna show you real quick. All right, so this is right there. It's really small. Okay, really small. So just go ahead and put that aside, and after you took that pin out, this is gonna be separate. This is gonna separate apart. This part right there, separate from here. Okay, if you guys know what this name, what is this called, please let me know. Comment down below. So now I got it all separated. I'm gonna show you all the small components, or that's in your bolt carrier group. This is your bolt carrier right here. This is your bolt assembly right here. Okay, and this is your cam pin. This one holds your bolt assembly, hold it together with your bolt carrier. Okay, and this retaining pin right here is what hold your firing pin to your bolt carrier, and this one right here is the one that I don't know the name, and this is the pin that holds this one to your bolt assembly. So this is what consists to your bolt carrier group. Alright, so after you got that all stripped down, go ahead and spray it with your solution. Spray it down. Alright. All parts spray it down also. Okay. Same thing with your, all the parts that we just disassembled. Go ahead and spray all that down. And come back to your lower receiver and go ahead and start cleaning it. Go ahead and use your go ahead and use your towel first to get out, like the reachable dirt that you're cleaning out, and also that's good for wiping down the whole rifle itself, or the whole firearm itself. So, but anyways, use your cotton pads right here. So go ahead and from all the corners, or all the unreachable things. This is the best. This is your best bet right here. So use that. Go ahead and start cleaning it. Wipe it down, right there. All right. So just go ahead and clean the entire thing. Anything that you see is moving, like a moving parts, clean that and oil that. Okay. So after you clean that, all right. Okay. Once you already cleaned that, go ahead and start oiling it. Okay. So make sure, see that over here, you will see there's springs in there. For your trigger. This is the hammer, is the ones hitting your the firing pin. So make sure you lube that, okay? Because it's a moving part. So make sure it's lube. It's always good to, a lot of people say that don't over lube it, but for me, over lube. You know what? I mean, it does. They say, oh, it'll attract dirt. That's why you're cleaning your rifle, okay? It will attract dirt anyway. So go ahead and put oil in it, because for me, any moving parts, if it's well oiled, it will function better, okay? All right. So go ahead and all the moving parts right there. Put a little bit of oil also to your hammer, okay? Because it will, in the long run, it will create a safe film that would protect it from any corrosion. Okay. So now, after you do that, after you put oil in that, make sure you put oil also in your takedown pin, so that it's easy to pull in and lock your lower receiver and your upper receiver in. Go ahead and let your oil run through the bumper tube. Okay, just go ahead and let it run, because you can't really reach it all the way down to the end, but if you let it run, it will, the oil is gonna run down, and at least you can cover at least 9% of the entire bumper tube. Okay, so once you got it clean out, and once you got it oiled up, go ahead and put that aside first. Now your buffer spring, go ahead and oil it. Oil it. Make sure that you're oiling it. Okay, but you have to oil it really good, because this is the one that's constantly going back and forth and rubbing to your bumper tube. Okay, so after you oil that, after you got it oiled, go ahead and put it back inside the bumper tube. And same thing, you have to make sure that you push that little retaining pin right here, that's holding the thing, so it won't shoot out, holding the bumper spring in, there you go. So once it's in, so when I let go, see the thing did its job. It stopped the bumper spring from coming out. So now you are done with your lower receiver. Put it aside. Now let's go ahead and clean your bolt carrier group. Okay, I like clean this first before the the barrel. So because you know, I want to reinstall your ball carrier because there's so many small parts that I want to make sure that I don't lose it. So after you got them all soaked with the solution, go ahead and same thing. Get your ball carrier first, and go ahead and use your the cotton the cotton panel. You know, go ahead and try to clean everything that you can't reach to your regular big towel. You know, so go ahead and put it inside the where the parent pin is. Wait, get that down, get that clean, okay, and all part of the ball carrier, okay. Right here where the cam pin is, cleaned up because there's always gonna be a carbon deposit in there that, you know, make a big gunk in there. All right. So once you clean this one up, go ahead and lube it so at least it'll be ready whenever you put the other components back in. So go ahead and make sure you lube the entire thing, but you have to lube the particularly, like I said, where the moving parts are. So right here in the corner, I put some over there. Right here, the ball carrier itself. You see how it's the collar or the thing. You can see that there's, you know, a little bit of wear in here. So you know that this is rubbing on something, right? So you have to put oil, a good amount of oil in there. All right. Same thing over here. All right, and where your cam pin is, because that's when you're gonna take it out. So you want to make sure that, you know, it'll be clean and lubing up, that whenever you try to take it down, they will come out easy. Okay, so once you do that, all right, this one right here, your bolt bolt assembly, go ahead and brush this using a steel brush or the nylon, which one works better on that particular time that you're cleaning it. So you just you know, brush it really good and truly. All right, so once you're done brushing this, go ahead and put the thing that I don't know the name. Put it back. Go ahead and put it back so you won't lose it. Once you put it back, use the retaining pin, the little bitty that holds it together. All right, and you find that hole. There's a hole in there, not this big one, but there's a hole in here where you put in the pin. So you put that pin in there to hold them together. Hold on. All right, so once it's in, if you can see right there, it's already in. So now it's held together. Okay, so now go ahead and oil this. Make sure you put this is where the gas goes in and everything like that. This is basically the tool for, like, you know, this is where the gas actually comes in and out. You know, this is like one of the main components with the gas the gas block. This is what actually runs the gas block, you know. By the way, so go ahead and put oil in it. All right, and right here where you see the hole right there, you put there because it's where the cam pin goes in to hold with the ball carrier. So oil that. All right, and this is actually your structure right here. This is the ones that pull out the used cartridge out when it's empty and push the new one in. Okay, so go ahead and put oil in there, and once you got it all done, go ahead and put it inside. All right, you don't have to put a lot in the parent pin, but I still put it, you know. Instead, after that, just kind of wipe it and get like the residue out. So go ahead and put oil in that. There you go. And on all the cam pin and other pin that's holding the components together, make sure to oil that too, to make it, you know, easy to you know, to strip and easy to put it back. Okay, so after you oil that and clean all that, go ahead and put everything together. Okay, put your parent pin back and put it back where the way you got it out a while ago. So go ahead and put it in right there. Actually, you have to put your bolt assembly first. Put it back with your ball carrier and put it in place first before you can put the firing pin in. Okay, so what you do is make sure that the hole from your ball carrier and the hole from your bolt assembly will, you know, line up. Okay, once it's lined up, okay, let's see. So once it's lined up, then you can you can use your cam pin to hold them together. Okay, so when you put it in the hole, make sure that like I said, make sure that they're lined up, or else it's not gonna go in. So now you can see that the cam pin, there you go. I don't know if you hear it. See, it clicks. And make sure, a while ago you want it to be parallel. Now you're gonna have to like twist it a little bit right there to, you know, to lock it in place. And now pull your bolt assembly out, pull it out, pull it in, pull it out. You know, just check, make sure that it's actually locked in place. All right. So now that your bolt assembly is inside your bolt carrier, let's go ahead and put your firing pin down. Firing pin back in. So here's your firing pin. You put it in the same place where you got it from a while ago, that hole over there. So you push it, you let it go in. Okay. So now it's in. You can see. There you go. It's back in. Now you use the firing pin retainer. The retaining pin, you go ahead and put it back to the hole that you got it from a while ago. All right. Make sure that this pin is not sticking out. So make sure that see how it's sticking out. Make sure you kind of like see it sticking out. Kind of like twist it a little bit in an angle so it can go all the way in. Now for you to check that the firing pin is actually installed correctly, tilt it, make it wiggle. See how the pin didn't fall? That means it's holding it correctly. Okay. So now your bolt assembly are back in its place. Now let's go ahead and clean your upper receiver and your the barrel. Okay, so that's where the bore snake gonna come in handy. So this part right here, soak it with your solution. Okay, and this one right here, this is actually the brush that cleans the inside of the barrel. Okay, that's why I said to make sure you get the right size of bore snake to use in your barrel. It doesn't matter what kind of barrel you have. You have the barrel that shoots 5.56. Make sure it's a chamber 5.56 in the right size. Okay. In this particular one, my AR shoots 7.62 by 39. So this is the size that I got. Okay. So go ahead and soak this with the cleaning solution. Okay. So just soak it up. Same thing, make it damp. Make it damp. Alright, so after doing that, alright, this one I'm going to show it to you, pointing the muzzle down the floor to the stick direction. Get this, the weight right here, get it inside the barrel. Alright, so once it's inside the barrel, you'll see in the bottom of the barrel, you will see come out. There you go, he come out. So when you do that, this is what you're going to use to pull it out. So when you do that, make sure that the end of the bore snake are not tangling with any of the parts of your rifle, okay, or else it's gonna might cause any damage or kind of like break the bore snake itself. So make sure that you're guiding it correctly, or like guiding it like good, not getting caught with anything. All right, so you just pull this out. So while you're pulling that, the brush is brushing the barrel, and at the same time the solution is kind of wiping it down. And you already sprayed it a while ago, so any dirt or any buildups are actually soft enough. So whenever you pull this out, it should be clean already. And you have to do it at least 2 or 3 times when you clean it. So after that, after you clean your barrel, okay, now we're gonna go ahead and oil it. Okay, so when you oil it, what you do is the same part where you put the solution a while ago. Go ahead and dump that, or get it get it with the oil, and make it like a good amount, okay? Because you don't want your barrel to be over lube. That's the only part of the rifle that I don't want to be over lube, or you shouldn't be over lube, because it could create accuracy problem. Okay, so the velocity of your the bullet will be, it will get altered. Okay, so go ahead and put oil in it, and after you put the oil, same thing, you put it the same way that you put in when you're cleaning the oils. Put it in the same entrance. Okay, you put it in the barrel. Okay, and you wait until the weight, there you go, the bore snake weight comes out in the barrel. All right, and then here you go, there's the thing, you pull it out. Okay, like I said, make sure that the linen part of your bore snake is not, it's not gonna get caught with any of your parts of your rifle. So pull it down, pull it. There you go. You should have enough. You should have an ample thin layer of oil in your barrel. All right. So once that's done, the only thing you gotta do now is clean like the mouth of your mouth of the chamber right here. The chamber mount right here, right there. You have to clean that, and try to clean it as much as as the best you can using the tools that I showed you a while ago. And this is actually Alright, here's the part of the upper receiver where your bolt carrier is going to be moving back and forth. So you saw the tear, or like you know the color changing in your bolt carrier, or the one I showed you, because it's rubbing on something. So most likely it's be rubbing in one of these right here in the corner, stuff like that. So what you do is go ahead and you already sprayed it a while ago, so go ahead and spray it again. You know, kind of like soften it up again. Use your brushes, the brushes that we have in there. We have it here. Okay, so go ahead and brush it. You know, brush it good, the inside of it, you know, especially the chamber area. Go ahead and brush it. Okay. So now after you brush it, okay, after you think it's good enough, clean it up, go ahead and use the towel and use the cotton squares that you have. Kind of like you use that too for, like, you know, the hard twitch places using your pick. Go ahead and clean all that. You know, use you know new cotton this cotton pads right here. Use clean ones every time, okay? So every time it gets dirty already, throw it away, get a new one, okay? Because you don't want to be rubbing back the carbon back to its place after rubbing. You know, keep on rubbing, it's just gonna, you know, it's gonna keep on you clean it and then you put it back again. Okay, so go ahead and clean that, clean as much as you can. Okay, all right. So that being said, after you clean all those hard to reach places of your AR and in the chamber area also, go ahead and oil the mouth of the chamber. Okay, go ahead and oil that. Make sure you oil the okay, push assist right here. This is whenever you get a jam in there, that your let's say your bullet didn't or your the cartridge doesn't want to enter your chamber of your barrel. It doesn't want to go in. It gets jammed. This actually will help it. You know, you push it. It's called forward assist. You push that. Okay, so make sure that one is well oiled also, because it's a moving part also. So any moving part, like I said, make sure to oil it. Okay, so after you put all put oil on all the places that you think it's, you know, doing a lot of friction and, like, you know, rubbing to each other. Okay, after you do that, all right, now you're ready to put back your bolt carrier group back to your upper receiver. Make sure you oil also your charging handle. You'll see that the wear part in there, you know, the discoloring. So basically that's where the ones rubbing needs to put oil in it. Okay, so what I do is go ahead and put oil in it and kind of evenly spray it apart, but especially pay attention to the ones having a discoloration, because that's basically where all the frictioners are going through. All right, so once you put an ample amount of oil in it, okay, when you put it in, this is how it's gonna look like. Okay, this your bolt carrier will be on your charging handle like that. It gotta look like that inside. Okay, so that's why whenever you pull this, you know, it will pull the bolt carrier, you know, and do its job, the cycle, the ammunition, everything. But then again, when you put it in, you can put it in like that. You have to put in your charging handle first, because there's like a deep spot in there where you put your charging handle in. You see that little bump right there? It's what's gonna it's gonna get caught in that little deep spot in there. You know, to make room, because if you put this together, it's not gonna fit. You're gonna be like, oh, how come I got it out? How come I cannot put it back in? It's because there's no room. So whenever you put that in, just a little, you know, the deep spot, this thing will go down and it will give enough room for your bolt carrier to actually get in. And then once they're in and align up, then you can push the bolt carrier and your charging handle at the same time and hear that distinct click. That means that it's been attached correctly. So I'm gonna show you that real quick. So here's your upper receiver. Go ahead and put in your charging handle until you reach that little deep spot I said. Oh, there you go. I got a deep spot. I don't know if you can hear it. So let me make you hear that sound. So once you put it in, find that spot, the deep spot like I was talking about. Hold on. All right. So once you put it in, find that deep spot. Oh, you hear that? Okay. So it's already in the deep spot. So, you know, just hold that in. Hold your charger handle in place. Okay. It's hard to hold it in. There you go. So once you hold it in, okay, what you're gonna do now is insert your bolt carrier. Make sure that the bolt assembly is facing, you know, it's going in first, and make sure that the bolt assembly is actually extended out and not, you know, not pushed the loop, not pushed in. It needs to be extended out, you know. There you go. That's extend all the way before you put it in. So now that you got your charging handle in, go ahead and put this in. Line it up with your charging handle. Line up with the charging handle right here. Inside. There you go. So now you got the head or the front of the ball carrier. It's already in. So kind of like, you know, put it all the way where it's gonna meet with your charging handle. See how when this moves, your charger handle moves also. So now you have to be insert now together, okay, and lock it in its place. So push it together. Boom! There you go. See the distinct sound right there. So now the charging handle and your ball carrier is actually back together one piece with your upper receiver. All right, so now that you got your upper receiver and your ball putting together, go ahead and you can actually put your lower receiver and your upper receiver. You can go ahead and connect it back together. Okay. So what you do, same thing. Put the hole from your takedown pin. Put the hole of the upper receiver right there. So line them up. Once you line them up. Once them line up, that's really good. Go ahead and push your takedown pin to lock it back in its place. There you go. I got the first takedown pin in. The other one. Okay. Now you can see here's the pin right there. The end of the pin right here. So it's locked in place already, right there. So now it's locked in place. Make sure every time you clean your firearm or got any new optics or anything that you basically assemble or disassemble your rifle. Anytime you touch the mechanics of the rifle, make sure that once you put it back together, make sure that it's actually functioning properly, okay? Dry fire, what's gonna happen is you gotta dry fire because there's no ammunition. You know, with the ammunition in the other room, you know, you did a safety check, but we gotta do it again. Like I said, this is a routine, okay? You have to do this. Make sure the magazine is out, okay? Go ahead and pull your charging handle and lock your bolt. So pull it in, lock your bolt. So now it's open. Inspect it physically, your chamber, there's no round in it, and you have to visually inspect it. Okay, so now I know that this rifle is empty. Okay, so now go ahead and let go of your bolt. For you to know if the bolt and the upper receiver, the bolt and the lower receivers actually got put it back in the right place or put back correctly, you can do a dry fire where you can actually press your trigger and hear that distinctly, the click where the break point is. Okay, so now go ahead and charge your rifle again. Now it's charged. Now you can actually put this in get your safety clear right there. It's okay. Now go ahead and pull your trigger. Hear that? So that means that it does charge. Okay, so that means the mechanics will be low receiver. From the hammer, the hammer's working correctly, and you know that the bolt is actually the bolt's actually reciprocating. That means it's properly installed. So again, and push your trigger. Okay, do it like 3 times. Okay, so now that I know that it's properly installed, go ahead and oil up your like the face of your rifle. I just want to do this because I want to make my rifle still, that I like that the black armorite color of it. I just want to make sure that it doesn't get discolored. Because of course the longer you own your rifle, it's gonna discoloring will happen eventually. So I just put a thin layer of it and keep all the steel part of it, lube up and get that what do you call this, that protective film in there to minimize any of the discoloration or any what do you call this, any superficial damage that it could cause while shooting or like just storing a firearm. So go ahead and put that oil. It's kind of like putting lotion on a rifle. Okay, all right. So now, let me show you again. It's completely done. Here you go, guys. I just showed you how to field strip your AR-15 and how to clean it. Which part needs to be clean and which part needs to be lube, and which part is the one that you need to, lube the most. So again, that's how you clean your AR, and this is just like a basic way to cleaning it. And at the same time, it's my way of cleaning it. So everybody cleans it differently, but the best, like I said, the best reference is gonna be your manual that comes with the firearm, because they're the maker, they're the manufacturer. Of course, they will know how to take care of their own product. Okay, again, this is your recall therapist JC signing out.
Kay hugi ng bugi, abilidad ng mga kaayo. Ako manimalus, mag-aansos ko humaayo. Sa laing mong bationg mana, huwag kang albulayo. Kay murat na piktusan ka lang, ang dili inyong atos.